Good morning, everyone. This is David Jameson coming to you live from the ProPride Studios. What do you think? We're having a heck of a time getting our new lighting, so we're waiting for the lighting, but we improvised like we always do here at ProPride. We're going to start using our brand new set. So we have one heck of a program for you today. You're going to enjoy it as always, and hopefully we will hear some comments coming back, some questions, and feel free to interact with us any way you'd like. So first off, don't forget that if you like, share, and comment, you get an entry into our $2,000 raffle that will be drawn on July 9. And and I'll go over the prizes that are included here shortly. But remember, if you like, share, and comment, you get one entry. If you like, share, and comment, and that share goes into a group, you get two entries. And if you submit a little 1-minute video to us regarding how much you love the 3P, you get 5 entries. And we've had a few of those, haven't we, Lazar?
Yeah, quite a few.
Excellent. Can you guys remember, if you speak fluent mumble, then you're very lucky because then you'll understand Lazar. But if not, you can always ask us to have him repeat it. So now it's time for shout out time. Lazar, can you tell us who's watching?
Kat Jacobson said hello to everyone. Welcome to the weekend.
Kat Jacobson.
Yeah, Ryan Kern said happy Friday, everyone. Happy early Father's Day to all the ProPride dads out there.
Thank you, Ryan.
We got Peter Abraham watching.
Pete.
Leland Kindbaum, a
big winner, $2,000 winner.
Kyle Johnson said happy Friday to all.
Big K.
Joe Whiting, good morning, ProPride fam.
And what, do I see that right? LeBron James is watching today, people. LeBron James, can you imagine that?
He's a pretty frequent tuner.
He frequently tunes in. Oh, and it looks like Mrs. Alex Huang. Mrs. Alex Huang has just dialed in, and she is now watching. One of our big supporters, everyone. Wonderful woman. And so now that takes us to watch this.
Oh my God! Oh, babe!
Stop!
Oh, babe! Oh God! Oh man!
Janelle.
Oh my God!
Oh my God! Everybody's okay. We did a good job. Good job, Kaka.
We have the technology.
Well, definitely the thing that I pick up in that video is the fact that there's actual terror. Can you imagine? I remember pulling a teardrop one time, forgetting that I had it behind me, looking in the rearview mirror and seeing that move around. It freaks you out. Can you imagine having your entire family and ending up facing the wrong way on a highway? And speaking of terror, we have a lot of people on the set today. What do you think of that video and the technology that we do have, Lazar? What do you think about that?
Our video and technology?
No, just that we have the technology in the video.
I mean, we do have it.
We do have it. We do have it. He confirmed that.
That is ours.
It is ours. And don't forget, we have other people joining us, and you know exactly who. So before we get going, is there any questions popped up or any comments, anything we can share? LeBron is still on.
There's tons of watchers.
Oh, J-Lo is on.
And Jerome Hoover.
And who?
Jerome Hoover.
Jerome Hoover. And I think A-Rod was on, but he just signed off. So anyway, A-Rod stopped by. Maybe Tiger, since he's injured, he'll start popping on again. So anyway, it's time for announcements, and if you watch every week, then I bet you could guess what they are. We still have 0% financing for up to 18 months, meaning you pay nothing in interest. For 18 months, you just make an equal payment, and that's a pretty neat program, isn't it?
Absolutely it is.
I like to live my life in 0% interest, and I'm sure you do too. So we offer it to you. And remember, I am known as what? Can you flash that? The crazy finance guy. So of course I'm going to talk about finance. And that takes us to our $2,000 raffle that will be drawn on July 9. And anchor prize is provided by none other than the man with two first names. That's Mr. Ronnie Dennis. Don't call me Dennis, Ronnie, from Airstream Nuts and Bolts. And it's an entire RV solar panel system, and it generates enough power to run the whole dang RV, doesn't it, Brent?
Just about.
I gave away I gave away a secret. Brent is over there on set here at ProPride Studios, right? So it does. It generates the whole thing, and then some.
Yep.
Would you say and then some, or just enough?
Depending on your electronic needs,
Right.
potentially, yes.
Potentially and then some. So speaking of and then some, he will be on shortly. See, the only problem with this desk is I can't get up there. I guess I can like this, but that's the one thing I miss. So anyway, after the $2,000 raffle, don't forget we have the way that you can get 5 entries into winning the $2,000 is submit a 1-minute little video. All you have to do is grab your phone and talk about the 3P. You don't even have to show the 3P, just talk about it. You can talk about Brent McDowell, you can talk about Alex Miller, you can talk about Lazar, you can talk about me, you can talk about the man with the little C and the big D in his last name. I think I already said Brent, didn't I?
I got double exposure.
He got double, he does like, see the operative word in that is exposure, people. So anyway, after that, don't forget sponsorship. Lazar seems very serious today. Very serious. I look over at him, not even a smirk. So sponsorship, if any of you are in the RV industry, the outdoor industry, anything fishing, anything that you have to do outside, even skiing. Skiing would even work, wouldn't it?
Absolutely would.
Anything outside, we are here to share sponsorship with you. We will work with you, and we will give you plenty of good information to put on your site, and you'll be surprised. People will watch, because where is it right now? Is it over here or the other way? Which way do I point? This way? It's that way. Look right here, the numbers that we get. I know they haven't been updated in a month, but they are true. So now let's talk about the affiliate network. People are making major coin doing this, aren't they, Lazar?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of affiliates now, and a lot of them are getting paid out on a monthly basis.
I think Ryan Kearns is one of the guys leading the pack, isn't he?
Ryan, yeah, I
He's
believe
got a
so.
few?
Ryan Kearns, Joe Whiting's in the affiliate.
What do you do
program.
with all your money, Ryan? That's what we need to know. Because we see that you're doing a very good job talking about the 3P. And you know, it's easy to talk about the 3P. It really is.
Absolutely.
And we will be updating everyone on the orange hitch, or the lack of orange hitch, probably next week's episode. Wink, wink. So that leads us to the install network. Now that's the one that's blowing up. We're actually getting a new logo made. Our graphics department is making a new logo, but how many signups in June would you say?
In June, over a couple dozen for sure.
Over a couple dozen. So, and how many is a dozen?
At least 12.
At least, so it could be
There
a
could be a
dozen,
baker's
could be
dozen.
more than 12.
You could have a baker's dozen.
Hey, you hear that? See, that is the benefit of the educational system in the United States versus Baghdad. Right. So how do you say baker's dozen in your native tongue? So just say it real quick.
Bakers. I don't
Okay,
know.
the man who cooks bread dozen. Come on, do it.
الواحد يسوي الخبز.
There you go. So baker's dozen in his native tongue, and it's not Arabic. I've been corrected on that before. So anyway, install network is cranking. Now that leads us to a review. It's review time. We got everything covered, right?
Yeah, we had a quick comment for the
Quick
install
comment.
network. Randy asked if we still need installers in the New Jersey area. Absolutely, we
Yes.
do in the entire East Coast. So feel free to just go to the install page. It's at the bottom of the footer of the store website. You're just gonna have to fill out your information, you know, first name, last name, email, phone number.
You know, cameraman, when he talks, you're welcome to move the camera, like open it up so we're both on there.
And we'll get you on that install list right away. So we appreciate
Who
you.
is that?
Randy Sinkle.
Randy Sinkle, yes. And Brent, since he is in the room, most people are charging like a travel fee and a certain amount per hour. Do they have flat fees? How do they normally do it?
Yeah, you know, it depends really on the region, but anywhere from 85 to probably 150 an hour, quite honestly. That's
Yeah.
what the places are charging, so that's easy, something you could do.
Now, you've installed quite a few yourself. Would you say it gets easier every time you do it?
Most definitely,
Yeah.
yeah. And something these guys could do as well that I just thought about while he was talking about that is they could plan a small little trip if on the East Coast, if somebody's down the coast a little bit, maybe plan the trip around going to do that install and have it maybe pay for your trip. I don't
An
know.
itinerary of installation.
There you go.
I2, itinerary of installation, or IOI.
Love it.
I like it too. And the affirmation nod that Brent gave when he asked if we needed installers in New Jersey tells me that he's very serious. We do.
Yeah.
So anyway, that leads us to our review of the week, We actually have two. So don't run off after we read Mr. Kirk Fitcher's. We also have a video of a customer that stopped by showing off his rig. But first off, I'd like to read the review by Mr. Kirk Fitcher. Just came in June. Do you know where he's from? Does it ring a bell, Brent? Brent is looking at his watch. He's a busy man.
I've got sales calls coming in as we speak right here, man.
He's on set.
So I'll
looking at
call
his
you back,
watch.
I promise, if you're watching.
So do you know where Mr. Kirk is from, Fitcher?
I don't know that one off the top of my head.
He doesn't know, but
I'm
let
not
me
that
tell you
good.
what he has to say. It's on the screen, but I'm going to read it anyway. I ordered our ProPride hitch on the 14th of May, just 1 week before our family camping trip to the Black Hills. ProPride went to bat for me, and I received it in 2 days. I received it 2 days before departing on our trip. Not many companies would do that for their customers. My son and I installed the hitch, and after watching the install video by ProPride, that's you, I think, Brent, by Brent himself, the install went without any problems. The first hookup to the camper, I admit, was not without some frustrations, but after I figured out the importance of aligning the angles of the two halves of the hitch, I've not had any problems since. The trip across South Dakota on I-90, we've heard a lot about South Dakota I-90, haven't we?
I-90,
Yeah, quite a few of these come in. It was quite windy, and even with 18-wheelers passing us and we passing them, the hitch performed as advertised. Not once did I experience any sway in the trailer. We could feel the wind, but no hitch could stop that. What it did do was make the camper and truck act as one solid unit in the wind. I would, without hesitation, recommend the ProPride to anyone looking for a quality hitch. And we thank you very much, Kirk. And you know, the thing is, like I've heard Sean say, that on a regular ball, it will pivot on the ball. Now it pivots at the towing vehicle rear axle.
52 inches forward, yep.
52 inches. See, Brent knows the exact measurements. I just knew it was up there. So if you asked me, I would have said up there. He says 52 inches. Speaking of up there, it's good to have Lazar on set again. And even though he's not his jovial self, I think something's got him.
We have a
what do we got?
a nice video actually getting created to really show how the hitch moves and works. It's amazing. We had a customer send us the rear end camera, and it shows just how powerful this hitch really is, even when getting sideswiped by it.
Oh yeah, I heard about the side swipe video.
So
I'm
we're
looking
working on
forward
that.
to that. He got hit by a truck, didn't he?
Yeah, twice.
Wow.
And didn't roll, barely swayed, just whoop, right back.
Excellent. So that leads us now to the video review by Mr. Stefan Siegel. And Stefan stopped by with his rig. And is that running right now?
Yep.
He'd stop by with his rig. He has a G-Wagon and an Airstream. It's quite a nice rig. And Mr. Siegel, you can look him up. He's actually a fashion designer, not just a label. Look that up and you can check out his stuff. It's pretty neat. And after we get done with this, do I hear the music? I do. Does everyone know what time it is now? Speaking of not just a label, this is the man that I've mentioned earlier with little C and big D, Mr. Brent. Don't call me Brett McDowell. So anyway, here he is, people, and he's got his own seat. He's got a little thing he's laying out, and he's going to be talking about jacks and nuts.
Very nice, very nice.
Nice to have you again, Brent.
Hey, thank you.
So Brent
First time on set, pretty excited.
It is nice. You're a little bit lower. You can jack up if you'd like. Jack your way.
Let's get, there we go.
Okay.
Now I've got that inch of faux hawk on top.
Yeah. He does rock the faux hawk.
All right.
So just to let Brent get his druthers about himself as he's sitting down on this set, he's going to talk about how the V2 jacks work, how they move freely under a load, and can you max out the jacks? And then he's going to talk about nuts being out. He really is. So the floor's all yours.
Yeah, we've got to address this. So I encourage everybody too to make sure you're like talking or asking questions. Write them in, send them in a bot, whatever you need, because we want to try and answer these things weekly for you. We're just going to do a few of them today on the jacks because we've had quite a few customers that have asked these specific questions. So I figured I would go over these another time and make sure everybody knows exactly what's going on with this new V2 jack. And yes, we are putting them out the door every day for everybody that has them on order, I promise you. It's near and dear to our hearts to get you guys all taken care of for all your trips.
Definitely
so,
is.
Trust me, we're getting them out as quick as we can. So if you guys have not seen this guy, we've got this little dial on top here. So the mechanism is actually just a drive that goes all the way down, but this thing is so darn smooth that when it's not under load, you can just about use your fingers to do this with. But if this thing is under load, meaning you've got the bars on and it's stressed, you've got weight distributing on it, you're not going to be able to move this thing with anything other than like the supplied ratchet we give you. It's a 3/4 inch ratchet, or
You can go in on him, Reed.
or you can even do a 3/4 inch attachment on your drill. This is perfectly fine for that. And if you need to, right at the end, you should be able to move this just enough to get to the next spot so that you can put your linch pin in. And that you can probably do with your hand. But raising and lowering these things with your hand when they're under pressure is not going to happen. So it's smooth, but not quite that smooth, but pretty amazing still. Let's see. The other question we get a lot about is maxing these things out. So, and that kind of goes out with, or goes in with the nuts out theory as well, but we'll get to that too. So this guy sits on your frame just like this, right? And these can max out at about 3/4 of an inch, and that is absolutely fine. So these things can be drawn all the way up if you need to get that weight distribution, no problem at all. They are made to function perfectly maxed out, which is great, right? Not a lot of things are able to do that.
Right.
But this jack is. It's very robust, very, very good jack. The last piece of this little segment here is going to be nuts out. It sounds funny, but I figured, you know, like that
You could come out, Reed.
key frame, that key word, will make you guys think and laugh every time that you install these or going to install them. These guys are right here. So you've got your bolt that comes through. The nut is on the outside, so facing the outside of the rig, right? Not the inside to the frame, to the outside. Because we want you to be able to get these things to the max if you need to. And we don't want these things to come in collision with the frame or possibly this jack base on here. So that's why it's important that this guy is always nuts out, right?
Is there any part of the hitch where nuts are in?
You know what? There may be, actually. There is a couple spots.
And it's safe to have
and they're
the
the
nut.
big bolts where the nuts are in.
The big nuts are in, but it's okay to have the nuts out, and it's safe to have the nuts out.
It is safe to have the nuts out. It is not safe
To have the
nuts in this
So
particular
the jack nuts
instance.
in is dangerous. Jack nuts out is safe.
Yes.
Okay.
I would
So anyway-
confidently say yes, I think, to that.
Okay.
And always remember to put your linch pin back in on this guy, because these are so darn smooth that they will unreel themselves eventually if you don't have this in. So that's why this old nice
What's
rotary
smooth?
dial,
What's smooth?
this yeah, the whole mechanism
The
here.
mechanism. Oh, so it
super
turns smoothly.
It does turn smoothly, but if you don't have this guy in, it may turn smoothly and just kind of unravel your jack, which you don't want to have happen.
Makes sense, Brent. That
Yeah.
makes sense, buddy.
yeah.
So right now, while we have Mr. Brent McDowell on set, do we have any questions for him?
We have two questions.
Excellent.
Not particularly the V2, but
Sure. Oh, that's it. I can't do that.
So Joe's asking for any updates on the Brute ETA.
Joe, absolutely. So I know that you have one on order, and thank you for that. And yes, I should be shipping that to you next week.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, perfect.
See that? Brent McDowell.
Joe got on just specifically to ask that. He's like, you know what? I'm going to pin him
I don't
up
blame you, Joe.
on
Seriously.
your show.
Joe,
you're good.
I am 100% on your team.
And then we have Keith Howell. Question: has ProPride considered doing an engineering test to determine the max crosswinds that the ProPride Hitch 3P can handle?
Ooh. Have we thought about that?
Yeah.
Is that what the question
Yeah,
was?
have we considered
Have
it?
we considered it?
I would say absolutely have considered it. And that may be something this summer that we can potentially do and get some results.
That's something Mr. Sean Woodruff would like to do.
Absolutely.
So, because he has an engineering mind, but I'm wondering what mechanism would handle that. How would we do that, Brent? And just off the top of your head,
You know, off the top of my head, I'm thinking of one of those things that they.
like
It's got a little
torque wrench type
propeller thing on it or something. I don't know. See,
I don't
that's
know.
why you don't ask me.
What's
those
the
type of
gentleman's
questions.
name that asked that question?
Keith Howell.
Keith, are you an engineer? Would you know how to do this?
I think Keith maybe is.
If you
So I think we
are,
talked about it.
then why don't you get a hold of us? Because that's not a bad idea, Keith. You can come on up. We'll even give you a free lunch. No, we'll take care of you. But I like the guy. I really like the guy that asked about the Brute, though.
And then Nancy.
Oh, Nancy.
Nancy Decker just asked, are any adjustments required on the linkage of the V2 jacks?
No, do not touch the linkage at all. We put a red Loctite on these so that does not happen. So there's no reason you should ever have to adjust the linkage whatsoever. So great question.
Awesome.
Nancy, that was a very good question.
And what she's talking about is this linkage right here, right there. This piece does not need to be moved at all. It can be turned if you wanted to, like a whole thing for some reason, but you don't take these two apart at all. Not at all.
Oh.
Good question.
Got another one?
Keith Howell is a flight engineer on a
He's a
P3
flight
engineer.
aircraft.
On a what?
P3 aircraft.
What is a P3?
I don't know.
That I don't
Can
know
you
either.
type in what's a P3 aircraft, Keith? Let's see.
He probably thinks we're cheesy. Other flight engineers usually think we're cheesy.
He
That's
thinks we're
right.
cheesy?
No, I'm saying he
No.
probably
Oh,
does.
yeah,
you know?
no, corny.
Yeah, corny.
Yeah,
corny.
the Black Hawk pilots referred to us as corny. He said to me, I like your show. It's a little corny. I'm like, really?
Awesome.
Oh, there it is. The cameraman is showing us a P3, and he's a mechanic on that or an engineer?
He is a flight engineer.
There you
Flight
go.
engineer, very
That was
good.
impressive.
So he could probably figure out what we need to do. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's quite a bit, probably as much as the vehicle can handle. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
So if you can't blow the vehicle over, is that what he's asking?
Yeah, we're just getting a couple more.
Oh, we got a couple more. Are there any? We
All right,
have.
See, that's
so
what we
Keith
get
is a
for me taking
Navy
short time.
aircraft. It's a Navy aircraft long range patrol.
Nice.
Nancy Decker, that was actually Rick Decker. They're stationed together right now. He
Aha.
asked a question. And then Tim Feltner, ETA on shipping the hitches ordered this week.
This week. So I'm going to go out on a limb and I'll say next week. For
That's
sure.
that's
So
a pretty
within
strong
7
limb.
days.
Oh, it could be. That's a semi-strong limb. We're making them as fast as we can, and if everyone knows, and I hate repeating the stupid rhetoric, the stuff over and over about supply chain and all that. Well, we have things we have to deal with, but if we could shine the camera out there on the floor, you would see that we're working nonstop getting these things built. And the guys are all, I mean, very good morale. They're working hard, and they take pride in getting these things out, thus ProPride. And they do it professionally, too.
Another question.
Oh, another question. You know what? We're giving up Lazar's attire by him getting involved like this. So we may have to
I'm super
rework
involved
Weathered by
this week.
Lazar. We may have to go to the front.
Super involved. Peter Abraham, quick question. How tight should the OCL latch be?
The OCL latch, you know, those are actually on a pin that just gets plumbed in there. So I'm not sure if you're talking about the latch or the OCL screw perhaps, and that should just be to where you kind of just pop it in there. So we kind of went over that last week. Actually, if you go to last week's episode, I've got that little demonstration of how you turn the OCL screw. And it's just enough as you do clockwise in, it actually will loosen it. And if you do counterclockwise, it actually lengthens it. So it'll actually be more difficult to put on.
That's
But
on
it should
last
just be a
week's,
little-
right?
Yeah, it is on last week.
It's
Should
a
just
very
be a
short,
pop.
little, concise discussion. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, and he can.
No, remember that was the one that went a little bit longer?
That's right, yeah.
Okay,
And
but
look,
anyway.
look what happens today.
The question I have is, what was it, Pete Abraham?
Yes.
Does he have
Peter
6
Abraham.
brothers? Did you get it? Father Abraham?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
wait,
yeah.
where's the rim shot? Lazar can only do one thing at a time. He's reading the comments and
Those
questions.
jokes are-
Okay. So what, do you have anything else over there, Lazar? He points.
Peter said LOL.
Oh, but he points at it too. If you can see, he points at the questions.
Hey,
So he points.
No,
see,
I'm swiping. I got to swipe.
oh, I thought he was
man.
pointing at it like, okay, we
That's
have
why
one
you
right
can't
here.
assume. Can't assume on Facebook.
Like this. Okay,
Oh.
this is what. Wait, he's pointing.
Keith Howell said, "I will think about a possible test and get back to you."
Thank you,
Sweet.
Keith. Those flight engineers.
Right.
Yeah.
The last flight engineer I talked to wanted to make a fully aircraft aluminum 3P hitch, which is a great idea, but a little costly, I believe.
Be very costly.
I think we'd probably be game for it if somebody had, you know, 250,000.
Lazar's doing some work over there. Anything else coming in?
No, I'm just.
Okay. Well, so we've had quite a few questions. We got to make sure we denote this in the thumbnail.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of good questions, a lot of interaction with our 4P, pivot point projection people.
Oh boy.
It's terrible, isn't it? It's terrible.
I didn't forget the rim shot there.
Yeah, did you hit it? Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
So what about a crazy finance guy? Okay. Well, anyway, this is time. You can come in on me now. Come in tight.
I'm out.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, no,
hold on.
I'm not out.
This is the time. Come on in. This is the time now to say goodbye. Do you know who? Mr. Brent McDowell. And for those of you taking notes, remember that's little c, big D. He's of questionable origin. We think Scottish, but he is one heck of a man that rocks a faux hawk, and he answers the questions. And you've already seen, let's just pan over there real quick. It's now time for Weather by Lazar. I bet you he didn't forget that button.
Absolutely not.
No, he got that one. But it's raining out, and what he's done, people, is he has braved the rain.
I'm manifesting the sunshine.
He's anticipating the 80-degree heat and sunshine later in the day. So that's, seriously, he said the hell with the rain and went straight to the heat.
Little water never hurt.
No, never doesn't hurt. Now, he seemed a little bit off.
It's the glue. There's no sun.
No sun, but he's come back. He's come back. You see, he's interactive.
Partly cloudy by now.
Yeah, exactly. So now that takes us to bad jokes or dad jokes by Dave, or vice versa, which is it, dad jokes or bad jokes. And this is oldie but goodie. As I always mention, I'm an Irish guy, so I have the right to tell Irish jokes. So what happened one time at the Guinness distillery, Mr. Paddy O'Brien, actually that's really his name, Paddy O'Brien, fell into a vat of Guinness and perished. Well, the floor manager had to contact his wife, Mrs. O'Brien. He said, "You're not going to believe it, but Patty fell into a vat of Guinness and drowned. He died today." And she said, "Oh, dear Lord, well, I hope he went quickly." And he said, "Well, somewhat. He got out and took a piss 3 times." Brent went to the belt buckle, and like it was kind of a manly chuckle. So, So anyway, don't forget to like, share, and comment. Send in the goldarn videos. Would you just pick up your phone and talk about it? You can even talk about us. You just talk about anything that has to do with ProPride. See, I got to come up here. We are needy for attention, especially the guy over here. So send in anything that you think of. We appreciate you watching, and we will see you next week, whether you like it or not.